When I was in seminary, there was a guy there named Ian. He's now Father Ian. And Father Ian was an incredibly smart guy. He went to Villanova University before he even came to seminary. In fact, right before he went to seminary, he had a scholarship to study at the Astronomy Institute in the Vatican, the Pontifical Institute for Astronomy, which is the most prestigious, the largest observatory in the whole entire world. And yet he decided to become a priest. Father Ian also had a very special talent for playing music. He played piano and he also played organ. And his first summer assignment as a seminarian, his pastor asked him if he'd play piano at some of the Sunday masses. One Sunday, the pastor went out of town and they had a missionary priest that came in. And the missionary priest did mass as normal and he proclaimed the gospel. And when it came time for the homily, he stepped down from the podium and he went over to the piano and he said, "Move over, honey, I need to tickle the ivories." My brothers and sisters, I'm not going to ask Meg to go and move over and tickle the ivories as I give this homily, but I'd like to reference a song that came out in the year 2000. It's an old school praise and worship song. It's called Refiner's Fire. I don't know if any of you have heard this song. The song goes, "Purify my heart, let it be as gold or precious silver. Purify my heart, let it be as gold, pure gold. Refiner's fire, my heart's one desire is to be holy. Set apart for you, Lord, I choose to be holy. Set apart for you, my master, longing to do your will, ready to do your will." My brothers and sisters, we hear this song and we hear the gospel that we just heard, and it's some pretty harsh words, right? Jesus said, "I came to set the world ablaze. I came to bring division." That's not exactly the peace and tranquility that some of us experience in praying and entering into relationship with God. But it is the truth. It is the gospel. It is the good news in a sense that we have. Why is it the good news? Because our faith, if we have a true and pure faith, if it has been refined, that means that it changes our entire lives. It changes our decisions. It changes the way that we look at this life and this world. If we don't have a pure faith, or we have a faith in other things, those things change the way that we look on this world, the decisions that we make as well. So division will be a natural thing. The fire that Jesus is talking about has a twofold purpose. The first is to purify, right? Any of y'all know of any sugarcane farmers? What is the one thing that they do is at the end of the harvest, they burn the fields. Why do they burn the fields? To get rid of any leftovers that it may be there. Secondly, to purify the soil, to enrich the soil in that way for the next harvest, right? For the next planting season. It purifies us. That's the fire Jesus is talking about. But it also emboldens us. The first reading and the gospel during ordinary time are always connected. And we see the division that Jesus is talking about between father and son, mother, daughter, mother-in-law and daughter-in-law. Well, mother-in-law, daughter-in-law, I mean, that's a natural given, right? The first reading says that there is a division as well. But it's not between the prophet Jeremiah and the princes. It is between the king and the princes, the father and the son. Why? Because the father thought he was powerless. And so when the princes came up to him and said, "We need to do something about this prophet Jeremiah," he allowed them to do that. But then that fire hit his heart. And the plight of what Jeremiah was doing, it hit his heart and it purified his faith. And so much so that he was emboldened. He was emboldened to go and hold to the truth no matter the consequences. We don't know what the consequences were in our reading today, but he did the right thing. He went and got Jeremiah out of the cistern. My brothers and sisters, the faith brings division because the truth is not everybody believes. And in Jesus' time, it was easy to say that, well, only certain people were Christians and everybody else was pagan. And we think, well, that's not our times today. This is South Louisiana, right? This is Catholic country. They did a study about 4 years ago that said that only 41% of this area of South Louisiana is Catholic now. Only 41%. And only 29% of those 41% go to Mass regularly on Sundays. The faith is dying, and the faith is trying to be replaced by something else. whether it be Gnosticism or whether it be atheism, whether it be whatever it is, faith in technology, Scientology, whatever other things we're trying to replace the faith with, it is always going to be in opposition of what the faith is. Because the faith's purpose is to be centrally located in our hearts. It is to change everything that we do, the way we act, the way we feel. John F. Kennedy, when he was running for president, once was asked a question, will your Catholic faith change the way you govern this country? And he said, my faith is separated from the way that I govern this country. As much as we love that president, that is the wrong answer. Because the faith should be something in here. But it is mostly what we do, not just what we say. At the end of this time, I'm going to go sit down, we're going to stand up, and we're going to profess the faith together, right? Winston Churchill once said that, I don't really care about what people say. I much more care about the way they act and what they do. Because the way they act and what they do tells you exactly who they really are, the way they really feel, the way they really believe. We have a choice in front of us, my brothers and sisters. Do we just accommodate people that do not have faith? Do we change the way that we live so that we can bring peace and harmony, so to speak? Or do we hold to the faith, even if it brings division, even if it brings conflict? The gospel is the gospel. We don't shy away from what the gospel says today. We say that this is the way it is. This is the faith that I profess. And it is so valuable to me that I am willing to have division, because it is more important than all these other things. Because the faith endures, the other things turn back to dust. And so, my brothers and sisters, as we come to the table of the Lord, as we get ready to profess the faith, as we act in receiving Jesus Christ, his body, blood, soul, and divinity, let us remember that this is something that is something we should be lived. Not something that we just say or we pretend to do. But we have to truly walk the walk if we're willing to talk the talk.